What's good, everybody? It's full-time trip. We're back in the building. Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0 at the Emirates Stadium. The usuals, you know what I'm saying? Nothing too much, nothing too crazy. Just a quick 3 points off of Chelsea, as we usually do. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, but we can get right into it today. Honestly, overall, was not a great performance. It wasn't the most awe-inspiring. As a matter of fact, there were some frustrating points, but there were some a couple of good signs in there for how we contended and how we played and what we did. Overall, I thought it was pretty controlled. I thought there was just, again, the woes of the final third, which we'll get into and talk about. But the goal that was taken, only goal in the match, was really, really good. Good take, great header. And we just kind of saw the game out. We had our moments, maybe had like one or two couple of scary sections. But overall, I think it was really good. I think it was really good for me, in my opinion, just to get over that line. Not too much crazy exertion needed. There was obviously some ref interference and factors at play, which would have made the game easier. But even without that level of interference, I think we still should have probably been 2 or 3-0 to end the game without that. But we can get right into it. I'll start with this ref stuff, man. I'll start with the reffing performance. Listen, I will say there were some tenuous things. I think there was a challenge that Partey put in on our side that could have been called too. But if you look on the scales, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna count the scales, because I will count that Partey challenge like maybe we probably got away with one. I don't know. That could have been interpreted as something if it was a little bit higher, whatever. I would have understood a yellow from that. You know what I mean? Red kind of tenuous, but again, that's I'll count that one as like, okay, it was a sticky one. There were several challenges from people across Chelsea's team that I was so surprised. Again, Colwill and Fofana were some of the biggest culprits of this consistently. I don't know how some of them were still on the pitch given the second half. Again, stamps, pushes, again, direct fouls in the box, outside the box, like in the build up, the delaying of the game states and all that stuff like that. Like there was just so much stuff. I was surprised that people weren't even they were still on the pitch. How are they still on the pitch? Then you realize Garrett Gillette's on the VAR, Chris Kavanagh's reffing, and then you're like, oh, makes sense. They're actually incompetent all the time. And it befuddles me how there's an equivalent level of challenge on each side. Again, there was 3 yellows in the Chelsea team. I believe 3 yellows on the Arsenal side as well. Yeah, Partey, Gabriel, and Odegaard, which I'm like, one of y'all people should have been sent off, point blank, period. That should have been the beginning and end of it. And it's so funny to see how the pen shout as well, I completely forgot about that. I don't know how you lean into a ball, how you do the shoulder lean. I don't know how you do all that, man, and still not get a penalty called. That was such a deliberate movement. I don't understand how, oh, it's a natural position, but he naturally leaned into it. He naturally did that on purpose. What are you talking about? Again, this is just showing how far we've come. And when you look back on the season, everybody's going to like step back and admit it. They're going to step back and admit it. One, these refs are absolutely incompetent. But when it comes to an Arsenal perspective, there's been consistent meddling when it comes to certain decisions and letting things go. I think there was another push in the box that was clearly a penalty as well, or a stamp in either the end of the first half or the beginning of the second half. That was a clear penalty to me. But you know, that's by the by. But I do think the funniest thing is when the season ends, there's going to be a conversation about how much Arsenal got shagged, and like people can be like, it is what it is, like, or they'll point it out in post after everything's done. But I just think it's funny how some people are hiding their hands when it comes to acknowledging the BS that's been happening, and it hasn't just been happening to us. That's the point I want to make. There's been consistency across the entire league for people for and against, and I'm just like, I get this human error, but again, we're at this point where it's gross human incompetence, and it needs to be addressed. Plain and simple, it just needs to be addressed. And I don't know what's gonna come of it, but I hope something is really, really brought forth when it comes to all this meddling with proper games, man. Let games be games. You don't have to be the main character. These VAR decisions and stuff, they need to be better informed. They need to be better informed or less corrupt. I don't know what it is, but something needs to change for the better. That's all I know. But to the game, I thought our general approach was really, really good. I thought our press was so effective in the first opening stages of the game. I thought we found, again, good pockets. We had again, good level of running around the attack. And that element of running was around the attack pretty well. Found good passes in pockets. I thought Odegaard in that first 20 was our best player. just really, really smooth. Found his way through the phases pretty quickly and effectively. And yeah, was just making a lot of really great chances. I can't remember off the top of my head all the chances that were missed, but I know there was a couple blazes over the bar. Trossard had 2 big ones where I think he flubbed the shot, or he hesitated a bit too long and tried to feed it into the center area for somebody else to get to. I know there was one Martinelli shot that he got on the run a little bit in the box and he just blazed it over. A case in point, I thought from an attacking perspective, we opened them up pretty well without the level of runners that we usually have. Again, this isn't our optimal setup. This isn't our, again, optimal amount of talent when it comes to attacking and situations. But I thought it was better in terms of creating those situations and manufacturing the chaotic actions, especially from a player like Martinelli today. I thought he was pretty good in getting into the box. I thought he had the beating of Badiashile and Cucurella when he put his head down and focused on the decision. He didn't just stop and do that little like dribble and step over and try to think about it. I think pretty quickly, within 1 to 2 seconds, there were several instances where he just knew, okay, cool, go around the shoulder, do the best you can to use your pace, get around it, and make something happen. And I thought that dribbling, and I thought that again, his ability to beat his man, and then the crossing was really, really good from him today. And I think that was a big factor about it. Just there was a bit more assurance, in my opinion, around getting into the box, but even less assurance than kind of normal, or maybe just about normal, of the final shot, the final shooting action, and actually getting the ball into the back of the net. In my opinion, that's all I'm saying. But I thought overall, it was pretty decent. Defense, I had no worries about. There was probably one little spill from David Raya that was close off a Cucurella shot. That was just his mistake. But yeah, nothing came of it really. Just honest, mistake or mishandle is what it is. But yeah, I thought overall the game was handled pretty well. They offered not too many threats. Pedro Neto was their out ball. And Cuckoo didn't have enough pace to really get through. Sancho wasn't going to be effective or as effective on the out ball either. There was probably the most danger coming through, again, Neto making those runs over the top and them trying to, again, pull phases through. And maybe after that, I think them pinning the ball to Cucurella on the left-hand side and getting the ball through that channel, and him whipping in crosses. He just didn't whip any crosses in, which was, again, interesting. Probably because their team is really, like, again, pretty short, honestly. I don't think that, off the top of my head, I don't know if Reece James was crashing the box as much as I thought he was going to be. Again, Enzo's short and Kunku's not that tall. Pedro Neto's probably going to, not have the tendencies and the instincts of a striker who's looking to score, like a Jackson who like, again, finds his presence in the box and makes himself big for those moments. So crossing was not going to be an option, and past that, I don't think they were very effective. We did well to, again, snuff certain things out. A couple of awkward things in the air, challenges, but my only gripe, again, was the final action, the final shooting action in the box, just being more assured and more confident in that way, and having that level of just lethality. Again, lethality, that's always been the conversation up for so long, especially this season. I'm gonna be real. You give us 2 solid attackers, you give us Nico Williams, you give us a Sesko or Isak, and you see how many, like, and it just hit me, bro. Shout out to 7K on Twitter, because he pointed this out as well. But it's like, I feel like the absence of lethality in either big transition moments when we get the ball turned over high, or when we create the chances actually, but we miss off of a bad decision or a hesitation in certain situations in the final third. Some people think it's an entire chance creation problem or an entire XYZ. Sometimes I think the absence of real 1v1 lethal ball striking and lethal finishing ability, like, I feel like people try to magnify it more than what it is. If you give me Saka, Isak, and Nico Williams across that front three, they're going to make things for themselves. And all the high turnovers that we had, all the transition moments that we had, you know what I'm saying? That would be assuaged so much. Any of the woes that we had would have been assuaged so much by having those people who have the 1v1 talents to know when to accelerate and know when they're in the box and they have those chances. They're well aware of themselves. They're well aware of their power, and they commit to their action. They commit to that action with venom, with prejudice, and they put it away. And again, that front three right now just doesn't have that in spades, and that's where we're at. That's where we're at, bro. I get everybody wants to do all the super think PC things about the structure and how the chance creation is this and that. And on a certain level, again, it will be it is a thing that we are looking at and have to understand more and understand how to tweak and optimize. I get that. But when it's being made an entire detriment and the entire team, manager, system, and all that stuff is getting put to the sword because we're missing attacking players, we're missing talented attacking players that are our usual, and some people that we're still striving to get to complete the full picture of the team, I think it's a little bit disingenuous, man. That's all I'm saying. I get there's the pieces that need to be explained and understood from what we're seeing now, but the context of the bigger picture and we're missing attackers, it's still present. It's still prevalent. So I don't know. I from when we lost Saka, from when we lost Jesus, I knew that there was the just the level of context and credence I was willing to give for this team, because I know our prime attacking talents and these attackers are not there. They're not there yet. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. But outside of that, was a pretty normal game. Going through the team here, I thought Lewis Skelly was pretty good. I thought he was again good in defense, had some good moments there. I thought he was best on the carry. There was another solid like 5 to 10 yard carry where he just got the ball into a dangerous position and just kept pushing the tempo. His ability and his strength is just in fearless decisions and really inventive ways to find himself in the box through players, riding through challenges, again on the dribble. He's damn good. He's damn good, and I'm so happy that we have him. We're seeing him develop. Was really, really nice as well. I thought Saliba had a bit of a shaky first half, but he came back strong in the second. I'm about to say, I think Partey was pretty decent in the lone 6 role. Had some shaky moments, I think, and there was probably some moments where he could have been a little bit more alert, but again, that's just his style. It is what it is. The Odegaard, pretty much, I thought he had a really good game, but where his faults lie is in the transition and being able to, run on the ball and make quality decisions on the run, and that's not really who he is at the end of the day. So it's tough. It's tough not having the quality and level of runners at that flow and that rhythm with you to help make your job easier. It's tough, but it's not who he is. It's not his style. You know what I'm saying? So obviously I think things are going to be a bit overhit. He's going to get a bit trapped. He's not going to be able to, do the things that he wants to do or could be able, or could achieve, in another spot. So I can't criticize him for who he's not. You know what I mean? I can't criticize him too much for who he's not. I can only try and say within his wheelhouse of things that are comfortable, again, like the certain passing range and all stuff like that, that can be sharper. The shooting always can be sharper. But, that just is what it is. But overall, I thought he had a good game. Declan Rice, I thought he had a really solid game as well. Was a lot more prolific on the carry. I thought maybe my eyes were seeing something, but I thought he had a lot more license to get across the pitch, like horizontally. Like I thought he had more access to the right-hand side. It was like combining from that end and causing a little bit of discord and adding some extra decisions for the Chelsea defense. I thought that was very good. I thought he picked up some good positions. I thought he was solid, man. The free kick, I don't know what it was. With like 2 minutes, they were trying to explain everything, but it was solid, man. It was solid. Cannot complain. Merino did his job. A solid header. That wasn't even just solid. That was a damn good header off the back flick too. Wonderful stuff. I love that. I thought Trossard was okay. I thought his final actions were really just not good. I thought they were very, very rough in certain ways and inconsistent. But I know, again, on his day, throughout the spell without Saka and some of our big contributors attacking wise, he's carried a big part of the burden. He shouldered a lot of that burden creatively, and I thought he did well, man. I thought he did well in the spell, but today I think I just needed to see more. Just needed to see a lot more when it comes to his sharpness and those decisions that he needed to make. But he made a fool of Enzo Fernandez, so I'm not even gonna be too mad at it, bro. It is what it is, man. Yeah. Martinelli was there. Who did I not mention? Jurrien Timber, bro. I just want to say a quick word on Jurrien Timber. Off the back of an ACL, bro. The level of control, the level of poise, the level of just grit. This guy has almost every set of qualities that you want in every phase of play, and it's crazy to see. You got to big him up more for how much he's fought through this ACL injury, recovered, came back, has been playing intense games since the dawn of his return, and has been fitting into these roles like a glove in the absence of Ben White as well. You know what I mean? He's been holding that position down by himself for so long, and it's good to see White back, but you got to give Timber his props for how quality he's been at shutting down defenders, being a quality option in the build-up, and just being so secure with the ball in possession, and just being that option, again, on in certain patches and spaces on that right-hand side of the attack. Thought he was really good, man. I thought he was really good. Probably outside of my man of the match, but I'd probably edge it. Maybe I'd say Odegaard. Maybe I'd say Merino for the solo goal. There's not really much separating everybody today, but I will say Timber is in my top 3 because of how well he handled himself. I really enjoyed his performance today. Yeah, I thought he was really good. That's all I gotta say, man. Shout out to the subs that came on. Not too much with that. Waneri jumped on. Tierney jumped on. I think that might have been it from us. Yeah, it was. But yeah, 3 points in the bag. International break. Breathe, man. Breathe. I know the league is in a tough spot, an unlikely spot. But we just got to keep playing and keep winning to the end to secure where we're at. And, you know, if anything breaks going forward, we just got to make sure we're ready, you know, ready for anything and keep going. Hopefully, Saka will be back for the big fixtures that are ahead. Real Madrid in the Champions League. It's not going to be an easy day, and I hope he's back. But until then, we take a break, we rest and relax, and thank goodness we have a bit of reprieve, all right? So rest up, recover, and let me know in the comment section below what was your favorite moment of the match, who was your man of the match, all that good stuff. Let me know in the comment section below. And that being said, that's all the time I got. Full-time trip. We out of here, man. COYG! London is red. Don't you ever forget that, too, man. We out of here.